Hi, you guys. Welcome back to Meaningful Motivations with Tracey Erickson. And of course, if you're new to this channel, welcome. My name is Tracey Erickson, and in this video, I'm going to reveal the true enemy for everyone. And it may not be who you think it is. So stay tuned. In some of my previous videos, I've pointed out that love and hate is really two sides of the same coin because it's like a spectrum, right? So you can fall anywhere from unconditional love to extreme hate on anyone's scale of love, so to speak. But in today's video, I want to talk about the common enemy that exists amongst all of us. And that enemy is hate itself. In my personal opinion, love is the highest truth. Absolute, unconditional love is the highest truth. But absolute hate is the highest form of deception. So if you look at it from that perspective, you can start to see where either your ego or other people in your lives are deceiving you if you're being led to feel hate for another person in your heart. If we can all learn anything at all from history, then you know deep down within yourself that ever since the day you were born, you were told by powers that be that there are certain faces that you should hate. Now, these faces change throughout time because if you look way back decades earlier, the person you were told to hate could have been a German or a Nazi, right? Then you move up a little bit. Then the person that you were told to hate is maybe like a Vietnamese person. Maybe then you move up a little more. The person you're supposed to hate is from the Middle East. And, you move a little more and now you have to hate the Russians. So, the way that we are told to hate is through constant deception being fed to us through the media. Now, I just want to point this out because it's been happening for as long as there has been media. It's something called propaganda. So while people can use propaganda to brainwash the masses into believing whatever narrative, they can also use propaganda to make you hate someone. In George Orwell's book, 1984, he illustrates this perfectly using his character Winston, who's making all of these different, he's looking at his world. It's basically a communist world that he lives in, but he's looking at it from this perspective of no longer listening to the propaganda. He's trying to see beyond what he's being told. Now, in the book, it is in a land called Oceania, which doesn't really exist, but I think he's talking about certain lands that do exist who could then someday turn into Oceania, right? But Oceania is constantly at war with Eurasia or East Asia. Now, it says right here that they're constantly hating either Eurasia or East Asia. Since when Oceania was at war with one of these powers, it was generally at peace with the other. So what is very much pointed out there is that Winston, the main character in 1984, says it's hard to keep up with who their enemy currently is because it's one or the other. And while they're warring with one, they're at peace with the other. And the narrative can change overnight. And so many people buy into the narrative so deeply that even if the narrative changes overnight, people act as if it never did. In the book 1984, there are also 3 slogans of the party. Now, the party is representing this big brother, right? So big brother who is always watching them, always protecting them, making them feel warm and fuzzy. But Big Brother is always there, always watching. So there are 3 slogans of the party of which Big Brother is in charge of. And those 3 slogans of the party are: war is peace, freedom is slavery, and ignorance is strength. Here's the thing though, truth, which is love, is easy, but deception, which is hate, is hard. Because it's even illustrated in the book 1984 that to create this level of mind control, Big Brother has to constantly feed thoughts of hate to all of the people of Oceania. So each and every day, the people are gathered together to this 2-minute time in each and every day where they must stop and look at the telescreen, as it's called, and to watch the 2 minutes hate each and every day. Now, about the 2 minutes hate, the book says 2 minutes hate varied from day to day, but there was none in which Goldstein was not the principal figure. He was the primal traitor, the earliest defiler of the party's purity. All subsequent crimes against the party, all treacheries, all acts of sabotage, hearsay, deviations sprang directly out of Goldstein's teachings. Somewhere or other, he was still alive and hatching his conspiracies, allegedly. So, now, within this, so we have this party, this Big Brother called the party, who's watching over all the people, who has to control their thoughts, who has to control their family, who has to control their sex life. Big Brother controls everything and watches everything and hears everything. So they've concocted Goldstein as well. So it's almost like Goldstein is a fake character who turns out to be like a controlled opposition. So back to the 2 minutes hate. Now we have Goldstein. He's the character that everybody hates. He is Oceania's conspiracy theorist who sees what's really going on. At least that's what they think he is. So it says, and all the while, lest one should be in any doubt as to the reality which Goldstein's spacious claptrap covered, behind his head on the telescreen, there marched the endless columns of the Eurasian army, row after row of solid-looking men with expressionless Asiatic faces who swam up to the surface of the screen and vanished, to be replaced by others exactly similar. The dull rhythmic tramp of the soldiers' boots formed the background to Goldstein's bleating voice. Trust me, 1984 is a metaphor here, so it's all going to make sense. So where we are now is that Oceania is very much controlled by Big Brother. The people can't say or do anything without Big Brother possibly watching and hearing what they are doing. Now, they have Goldstein, who's the one who's a free thinker, who tries to make other people see through what's happening and see it for the conspiracy that it really is. So Goldstein, everyone must hate Goldstein. So Oceania requires 2 minutes hate each and every day, featuring Goldstein's fictional face on the screen, along with all of the armies of people who they are allegedly at war with at all times. So they see an image on the screen, they hear the stomping of the soldiers' boots, and they see these soldiers constantly marching seemingly towards them, right? So then the book goes on to say, before the hate, the 2 minutes hate, remember, that they have to do each day. Before the hate had proceeded for 30 seconds, uncontrollable exclamations of rage were breaking out from half of the people in the room. The self-satisfied, sheep-like face on the screen and the terrifying power of the Eurasian army behind it were too much to be borne. Besides, the sight or even the thought of Goldstein produced fear and anger automatically. Not to get political here, but is the 2 minutes hate starting to sound like the way, our 45th president was treated by the media each and every day, even through a complete hoax of the Russia investigation? I mean, I really don't want to get political and rub anybody the wrong way, but I'm trying to open your eyes to what is going on before our eyes and ears each and every single day. It is a form of mind control. It is a form of propaganda. It's a form of 2 minutes hate. And then it goes on to say, in its second minute, the hate rose to a frenzy. People were leaping up and down in their places and shouting at the top of their voices in an effort to drown the maddening, bleating voice that came from the screen. The little sandy-haired woman had turned bright pink, and her mouth was opening and shutting like that of a landed fish. So people are just looking crazy. They are just full of hate. But it's because of all of these mental triggers that they heard and saw on the telescreen. So all these triggers come up that they've been brainwashed to feel a certain way about, and now it's actually happening. They are truly going mad. And just to wrap up this discussion on the 2 minutes hate, let me share one more part. It says the hate rose to its climax. The voice of Goldstein had become an actual sheep's bleat, and for an instant, the face changed into that of a sheep. Then the sheep face melted into a figure of a Eurasian soldier who seemed to be advancing, huge and terrible, his submachine gun roaring and seeming to spring out of the surface of the screen, so that some of the people in the front row actually flinched backwards in their seats. But in the same moment, drawing a deep sigh of relief from everybody, the hostile figure melted into the face of Big Brother. The black-haired, black-mustachioed, full of power and mysterious calm, and so vast that it almost filled up the screen. Nobody heard what Big Brother was saying. It was merely a few words of encouragement, the sort of words that are uttered in the din of battle, not distinguishable individually, but restoring confidence by the fact of being spoken. Then the face of Big Brother faded away again, and instead, the 3 slogans of the party stood out in bold capitals. War is peace. Freedom is slavery. Ignorance is strength. All right, you guys, so put a heart in the comment section down below if you see how this story of the 2 minutes hate can actually be applied into our lives today, with the news media being the way it is, the constant division and separation we're constantly being fed for no reason at all. The name of the enemy and the face of the enemy changes, but there's always an enemy. So it seems that 1984 by George Orwell was simply exaggerating upon what's actually taking place in the world today. So anything that feels hateful, anything that puts hate in your heart in any way is a true deception, because it has to be worked towards, right? Someone has to convince you to hate something for you to actually hate it, because truth is love, and we all love each other at the real root of things. Okay? And we all come from the same creator source. We are all one, but from a different dimensional level than we're living in on this planet. So some people might not believe that this level of mind control can take place, but I believe it can, because I believe that the powers that be, the party or Big Brother, Big Brother knows that people can be controlled. But Big Brother also knows that it's a full-time job to control people. You have to constantly remind them of why they are controlled. You have to constantly remind them that they love being controlled. And you have to constantly remind them that there are things out there that will hurt you, that will hate you, and that will leave you feeling powerless. But don't worry, because Big Brother is here to save you. I just wanted to make this video today to point out that hate takes a lot of work for you to finally feel it in your heart. There was a lot that led to you feeling hate in your heart for another person or another group of people. And if you can really use your discernment, you actually might start to see how the way you really feel about things might be different from the way you've been told to feel about things. Remember, each and every day, the people of Oceania in the book 1984, they have to be told those three parties' slogans each and every day. They're printed everywhere. They're painted on walls and buildings. They're listening to it constantly on the subway. That war is peace. That freedom is slavery, and that ignorance is strength. It's a constant battle. Fighting to deceive the people has to be a daily constant battle. Because if you leave the people to their own thoughts and their own opinions, they are more likely to be loving towards one another. They are more likely to be cohesive and to allow others to be who they are. But it's that once that deception starts creeping in, once that deception is fed to you each and every day, the hate begins to grow in your heart, all the way to the point where simply seeing the image of your alleged enemy causes you to just boil with rage from deep down within, like all those poor people in the book 1984 during the 2 minutes hate. So in the beginning part of my life, the television would be the thing that was feeding us the 2 minutes hate every single day, right? The radio and the television. Nowadays, you have radio, television, and you have social media, which does the same. So as you scroll through social media, do you see little snippets of things you hate? If so, I would recommend stop following all of those. If it brings up a feeling of hate, get rid of it. Turn off the television, the telescreen, turn off your phones, your social media, and find your peace of mind. Find your discernment so that you can know why you feel the way you feel about different people, different things. Because maybe, just maybe, you're being brainwashed and you don't even know it. And always remember, the truth is easy. Deception takes a lot of work. Actually, deception takes a lot of work to get you to believe it. And then once you believe it, it takes a lot of work to continue to maintain that belief. But truth comes naturally. It comes easily. And there is no force involved. Well, that about wraps it up for this video. So if you like this video, be sure to click that like button and share this video with all your friends out there. And of course, if you're a viewer but not yet a subscriber, I would love for you to click subscribe down below. And once you have subscribed, you can turn on that notifications bell if you would like to be notified each and every time I upload a new video. Thank you guys so much for watching and spending your time with me. I love you. And I'll see you next time. Bye.